Good morning everyone. I'll be talking about the company ElevenLabs, exploring the ethical dilemmas of speech synthesizing AI. My name is Nakul. What is ElevenLabs? ElevenLabs is an American startup company founded very recently in 2022, and it specializes in developing natural sounding speech synthesis through AI and deep learning. And their main product that I'm going to be talking about today is their text-to-speech converting website, which you can find on beta.elevenlabs.io, and they make money through their paid subscription models, which are available on their website. So how does the website work basically? So there's two modes to the website. Either they have pre-made voice models available which you can use, or the main thing which they do is cloning voices. So you input a 1 minute or 2 minute audio clip of any person, and it can mimic the human's voice to a great extent. And you just give it some kind of text, and it'll convert the text to a speech in that human's voice. And it does so with appropriate pauses, intonations, and human characteristics. And if you feed it enough data, it's almost indistinguishable from a human voice. So what does ElevenLabs aims to achieve? So it aims to achieve a compelling, rich, and lifelike voice for creators and publishers seeking automation in storytelling mediums. So some examples would include animations, language learning tools, YouTube videos, movies, audiobooks, etc. So imagine a world where animators, they require, instead of requiring humans to voice their characters, they can do it through an automated way through technologies like this. And imagine websites like Duolingo, instead of needing to hire human beings to recite thousands of sentences, they can just do it automatically using technology like this. But the problem that we face now is the status quo is that even though the technology is there, the technology isn't fully safe. ElevenLabs doesn't take any measures to prevent any of the ethical issues that I'll be covering later, and it does prioritize money over managing ethics. So what the outline of this presentation will be, I'll give you an example of a speech synthesis, then we'll cover some core ethical problems, then I'll talk about the solutions to these problems, then I'll tell you what the future looks like, so the prognosis, and then the conclusion and the summary. So I have a video, I hope it plays.
Who now has the strength? Who now has the strength to stand against the armies of Israel and the government, to stand against the might of big tech and Blueies, and the union of the surveillance post the Twin Towers? Together, my useful England, we shall rule this earth. The old world will burn in the fires of peaceful protest.
Right, so that was Saruman from The Lord of the Rings, and of course Saruman never actually used the words Israel, government in the same sentences, but as you can see, it's like almost indistinguishable from the actual Saruman voice, and you can make the character essentially say anything. So the first core ethical problem that I'll be covering today is credit and legal issues. So people such as voice actors, music artists, and actors, their voices have a value, right? And if someone is using their voice to earn money, they're essentially making money through someone else's effort, and that's essentially stealing someone else's work without giving them credit. And ElevenLabs does not even make it compulsory for people to give credit where credit is due, right? So giving credit is a huge ethical concern. Next, we have data privacy concerns. So essentially, a user can input any sort of file into the software, and they can use it to clone the voice, which means there's a lot of privacy breaches because they don't have to ask someone for permission to take their voice, and there's just a checkbox that the software has, which anyone can check and proceed forward. Next, we have potential misuse. So voice impersonation is a big problem, which can lead to things like fraud and identity theft. And there was a real life incident of this where some users generated a voice of Emma Watson, and she was reading a section of Mein Kampf, which is Hitler's autobiography, and there's also other examples of such misuses. And this software has the potential to completely ruin a person's reputation, which is really dangerous. Right, so the solutions. So we want to maximize the benefits and minimize the ethical issues. So one thing we can do is make it compulsory for the user to give credit to the software when it's being used, and also give credit to the source of the audio file that they're using whenever they're using this. Second thing you can do is make the legal measures extremely rigorous, right? And also create a profile of the person on the software, and every audio file that you use of the person goes into their profile, so you can trace back to which person the file is actually from. And the third thing you can do is move from a cloning model to a descriptive model, right? So instead of telling the software to clone someone's voice, you tell it to, you give it adjectives and use it like that, right? Next we have what the future of ElevenLabs looks like. So through their official Twitter thread, they released some of the changes they were going to implement, which was, and some of them were super creative. So one of them is banning accounts that create harmful content in violation of its policies. Next they have requiring users to read a sample prompt to train the AI on their voice instead of like just taking any arbitrary audio clip. And although it's unlikely, ElevenLabs also might face some legal issues in the future because they didn't take care of ethical issues before. Right, so since I'm over my time, I'll just conclude really quick. So ElevenLabs is a technology that has insane implications for humanity, and it can be super useful. But right now, it's not at that stage where it's ethically sound to use it, and thus they need to make several changes to make it better. And these are the references that I used for my presentation. Any questions?
How do you think that they could enforce something like making it compulsory to go back a few slides? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think they could enforce making it strictly compulsory to give credit?
Yes, this is a very tricky question because when you're using an audio file, there isn't any space for you to write text or anything like that. So I guess one of the things you can do is make the legal implications really scary for the person being used, and also make it easy for them to trace back to which accounts created which audio files. So in case there's a case where someone misused the audio, they can trace it back to the account. So if people are scared of the misuse, they won't do it.